Welcome to our deep dive into AI. You gave us a pretty amazing mix of stuff to look at this time.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, from like big in-depth reports to what people are talking about online,
Right, exactly.
like that Panorama de la IA report.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna dig into all that and hopefully find some really interesting things.
Yeah, find the good stuff.
Right, the stuff that makes you go, "Oh wow, I didn't know that."
Exactly.
So let's jump right in.
Sounds good.
This Stargate project. It's a $500 billion AI initiative.
Yeah,
That's not even like money anymore. That's just like
it's a whole different
a
category.
made up number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
It is a lot of money. It seems like they're really raising the stakes though.
Yeah.
With these big companies like
Mhm.
OpenAI and Microsoft and Nvidia.
Right.
They all want to be the ones to kind of crack this whole thing open.
Yeah, it's like the new space race.
It's
Except with AI.
That's a good way to put it.
But then they're talking about using nuclear power to power this project.
Is our electrical grid even ready for that?
It's a good question. Um, I mean, the report mentions that there are some concerns about certain grids,
Right.
like the one in Texas hasn't been super reliable.
Right.
But they think that if they're going to make AI that's this powerful,
Yeah.
they're going to need more power.
Right. Well, it makes you wonder. I mean, is this really going to move AI forward, or is it just like
Yeah.
a political thing,
Yeah. Is it AI washing or is it the real deal?
Right, exactly. Like, who has the biggest AI?
Right.
So, speaking of AI that's more accessible, there's this DeepSeek R1 that's
Yeah.
open source, and people are really excited about it.
Oh, yeah. It's making a big splash.
Yeah, I was reading about its performance, and it's like it's better than some of the big names out there.
Yeah. It's doing amazingly well in those benchmarks like Math and AIM,
Right.
even beating out GPT-4o and Claude 3.5 in some cases.
Wow. Yeah. And it's super easy to use, too.
Oh, yeah.
You can get to it on Hugging Chat. It can run in your browser.
Right.
And it doesn't even need a fancy computer to run.
Yeah. Exactly. It's really opening things up for people who don't have all the, expensive hardware.
Right.
That's a good point.
So it really is making AI more accessible for everybody.
I think so. Yeah. And it
Mhm.
means that more people can get involved
Right.
and contribute, which is
Mhm.
exciting.
That's awesome. But I did see some people talking about censorship and problems with some other programs working with it.
Yeah, there are definitely some things to keep an eye on.
Right.
Like any powerful tool, there's always the potential for it to be used in ways that we don't want
Right.
or for unintended consequences to come up.
Right. So it's like on the one hand, you have Stargate, which is this giant,
Yeah.
maybe power-hungry project.
Right.
And then you have DeepSeek, which is like this
Yeah.
open and accessible thing. It's interesting.
It's a fascinating contrast for sure. And then on top of that, you have something like Gemini 2.0 with its flash thinking,
Right.
which is like a whole other level.
Yeah, this thing has a context window of 1,000,000 tokens.
Yeah. 1,000,000.
I can't even imagine what that means.
I know it's hard to wrap your head around,
Yeah.
but think about it this way. Imagine giving the AI an entire book to read,
Okay.
and it can understand every detail and how it all fits together.
Wow.
Or being able to analyze huge amounts of data and find those really complex connections.
Right.
That's what 1,000,000 token context window can do.
That's crazy.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah. And they're already working on connecting it to tools like Smalltalk and AI News.
Right.
So it's not just some theoretical thing, it's going to have real applications.
Exactly. It could really change things.
Wow. It's like these AI models are getting smarter and smarter.
It's like we're giving them a bigger canvas to think on,
Yeah.
and they're coming up with some amazing stuff.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. So we've got these huge leaps forward in processing power,
Right.
but then also this focus on making AI more accessible and open.
Exactly. It's an exciting time to be following all of this.
It really is. So what else is going on?
Well, let's talk about what's happening on the business side of things with
Mhm.
Mistral AI. Hashtag TTS, the Deep Dive episode 2025-01-22, part 2 of 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, they decided to go public and expand into Asia.
Yeah, that really caught my eye. I mean, most startups would love to be bought out by like Google or somebody,
Right, exactly.
but they said no.
It's a bold move for sure,
It is.
especially when you think about how much power those big companies have.
Right,
But maybe this means that smaller AI companies can actually make it on their own now,
right.
without being swallowed up.
Yeah, it's like David and Goliath.
Yeah, kind of.
So speaking of big predictions, Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic,
Yeah.
thinks that we're going to have artificial superintelligence.
ASI.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
really, really smart AI.
Right. like way beyond what we have now.
Right, in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, that's a pretty short timeline.
It is. A lot of people think it's way further out than that.
Right. Some people think it's decades away.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a bold prediction.
It is. So what's he basing that on?
Well, he hasn't given all the details, but he says it's because of how fast AI is improving
Okay.
and how much more computing power we have now.
Okay. But, I mean, ASI is still kind of like a sci-fi concept.
Yeah.
We're still trying to figure out artificial general intelligence, which
Yeah.
is like one step below that.
Right.
So is he just trying to get attention?
Maybe. But he does have a good track record in AI.
That's true.
And Anthropic is really focused on making sure AI is safe.
Right.
So he's not just saying stuff to get headlines.
Right. So it's kind of a mixed bag. Some people think ASI is a long way off,
Right.
and some people think it's right around the corner.
Right.
What do you think?
I honestly don't know. But I think it's good that we're talking about it now,
Right.
before it's too late.
Yeah. We should be thinking about what it means for us
Exactly.
if machines get that smart.
Right. How do we make sure they're still on our side?
Exactly. So let's step back from the future for a minute and look
Yeah.
at what's happening now.
Yeah.
There's this liquid AI thing.
LFM7B.
Yeah, which is a non-transformer model.
Right.
And it's designed to work on like your phone or whatever.
Yeah, it can run locally
Right.
without needing a big server.
So that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it means you can use AI in more places.
Right. Like even if you don't have good internet,
Right.
that's awesome. And then there's this mind evolution thing.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like training AI using evolution.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
They're basically using the principles of natural selection to train these models.
So it's like survival of the fittest for AI.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it seems to be working really well.
So AI is evolving in more ways than one.
I guess so.
Yeah.
And then there's SleepNet and DreamNet.
Right. Those are the ones that are like based on how humans sleep.
Yeah, they're trying to see if they can make AI learn better by giving it periods of rest.
Like naps.
Yeah, kind of. It's like they're trying to replicate the way our brains process information when we sleep.
Wow. That's so weird.
It is pretty out there, but it could be a big deal if it works.
Right. So we've got all these amazing new developments,
Right.
but there's also this lawsuit against Suno.
Yeah, the AI music generator.
Right. They're being sued for using music they didn't have the rights to.
Right. It's a big issue.
Yeah, like who owns the rights to music made by AI?
Exactly. And what about other creative stuff like art and writing?
Right.
It's a whole new legal minefield.
It is. And speaking of DeepSeek R1,
Yeah.
it's being used in education now.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, like for tutoring and helping students with special needs.
That's awesome.
It is. It's like AI is becoming a teacher.
Yeah, and then there's BUDE,
Right.
that open source voice assistant.
Yeah. Imagine having AI assistants in every classroom.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
It would. But
Yeah.
what about students who don't have access to that technology?
That's a good point. It could make things even more unequal.
Right.
Well-
So how do we build an AI ecosystem that works for everyone?
Yeah, that's the big question.
It is, and it's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's about access and fairness and making sure everyone benefits.
Exactly.
So how do we do that?
Well, one thing is making sure that AI tools and platforms can all work together.
Okay.
Right now, it's kind of a mess.
Right.
Different models and programs don't always play nice with each other.
Right.
So we need to figure out how to make them more compatible.
Okay. So it's like building a universal translator for AI.
Yeah, kind of.
And then there's the issue of speed.
Right.
Even with the super fast GPUs like the H100,
Yeah,
it can still take a long time to train and deploy AI models.
it can. And it's expensive.
Right. So how do we make it faster and cheaper?
Well, there are some new benchmarking tools that are helping with that. Hashtag TTS, the Deep Dive episode 2025-0122, part 3 of 3.
So these benchmarking tools are helping to make AI faster and cheaper.
Yeah, they're basically like standardized tests for AI. So you can compare different models and see which one is best for a specific job.
So it's not just about how powerful the AI is anymore.
Right, it's also about how well it can actually think.
Yeah.
Like, can it solve problems? Can it make decisions? Can it plan things out?
And these benchmarks help us figure that out.
Exactly.
That's cool. And it makes things more transparent too, right?
Definitely. We can see what these models can really do.
Not just what the marketing people tell us.
Exactly.
So what's the AI community saying about all this?
Oh, they're loving it. Especially the open source stuff like DeepSeek.
Right?
People are really excited about that.
It sounds like a really cool community.
It is. It's very collaborative.
But there are some concerns too, right?
Yeah, like cost is a big one.
Right.
These models are getting more expensive to run.
And then there's the whole censorship thing.
Right. How do we make sure these models aren't biased
Yeah.
or promoting harmful stereotypes?
It's a lot to think about.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's good that people are talking about it.
Right. We need to have these conversations now.
Exactly, before it's too late.
So, what are the big takeaways from all of this?
I think the main thing is that AI is here now.
Right.
It's not some sci-fi thing anymore.
It's affecting our lives in real ways
Exactly. So we need to stay informed.
and be part of the conversation.
Right.
This has been a really interesting deep dive.
It has.
We've learned a lot.
But this is just the beginning.
Right. The world of AI is constantly changing.
Exactly. There's always something new to discover.
So, to our listeners out there, keep exploring.
Yeah, dive deeper into the stuff that interests you.
Try out some of these tools and technologies.
Ask questions. Challenge assumptions.
The future of AI is being shaped right now.
And your voice matters.
That's a great point. Well, that's all the time we have for today.
Thanks for joining us.
It's been fun.
It has.
Until next time.